Good morning, people. This is Earl in Houston, Texas. Man, the last 2 weeks we have had wonderful weather. 80-degree days, well, 70 to 80-degree days. And it hasn't even rained in 6 days. Yay, because we had so much rain last week. And the night's very pleasant, no lower than 55 degrees. It's to where I can sit outside, and relax. It's comfortable, and that's rare in Houston because in Houston it's either too damn hot or too damn cold. But good morning, people. It's 6:50 a.m. here right now. I just went for a short drive because I basically never go anywhere. I'm always working on mechanical things or my house. And I'm a very content individual. Even though I have a lot of enthusiasm, I'm content. I don't want to travel. I don't want to go to Super Walmart. I occasionally go to AutoZone or Advance Auto Parts, but most of the time, even on parts, I will order from eBay, and sometimes I'll even stoop so low as to order from Walmart. But what I wanted to talk about here today is Lucas Oil Stabilizer, and one bottle will have it Lucas High Mileage Oil Stabilizer. My opinion, with my 54, no, it's now 55 years experience, auto mechanic working on heavy equipment, diesel, hydraulics, automotive, Harley Davidson motorcycle. Here's something I want to tell y'all people about. Lucas Oil Stabilizer, or high mileage Lucas Oil Stabilizer. People, it's like I've told you in previous videos about oils. Anytime you look at a bottle of anything you're going to put in a gasoline engine, if it doesn't list the weight of that oil, well, then something is not right. I, I smell rats. So I had no way of knowing what the weight of that oil is. So I looked at video after video until I saw one man, he poured it out of the bottle, you know. Okay. And I watched another video of a guy pouring a quart of that in a four-cylinder engine. Okay, people. Here's what that stuff is. There. Okay. It's STP oil treatment from the early 1970s. That a lot of people fell for it, and yeah, it quietened a lot of wrist pin knocks and a lot of knocks on the engines. It quieted tapping, lifter tap, all that stuff. But what people came to discover that put STP oil treatment in their engines. It's thick. It's got several names: honey oil or jelly oil. Well, it's thinner than jelly, but it's syrupy. It's thicker than differential oil, which is 80, 90 weight oil or whatever. It's much thicker than that, probably 3 times as thick. The actual weight of honey oil is, like STP oil treatment, is probably 300 weight oil, which is so thick. And sure, it'll quiet, rockers, connecting rods at the crankshaft, wrist pin knot. Oh yeah, it'll correct it. And it'll make them even stop smoking. So those were probably good for used car dealers back in the early 70s and up through the 70s. But it was learned the big price you pay when you put that junk in your engine. Because here's what happened. Once it comes from the top of that engine and it goes down into that oil pan, what happens? It forms into a ball. And when you're driving the car, this ball in your oil pan rolls back and forth. And when the oil pump with the pickup tube screen, it tries to pick up oil. Well, that ball keeps oil from going up in the oil pump pickup tube. Okay. And not only that, it can't get through the oil ports that go through your engine block at all because it's too thick, people. So here's what happened to those cars from the 70s. I think most places, all the mechanics quit using that garbage. I think by 1976 on average, because they figured out what it was causing. Sure, your engine would run quieter if it was worn or had problems, but the price people paid, because what happened when they'd pull those engines apart? Yeah, the engine might have been running quiet, but all the crankshaft bearings would have spun in the crankshaft, making those engines to where they weren't even rebuildable. Because once a crankshaft bearing, not a connecting rod bearing, but a crankshaft bearing, it starts spinning. Okay, you can replace the bearing caps, but the engine block itself, if the bearing starts spinning in that area, what it does is it scrapes down the metal to the engine block itself. So the engine block, you have to literally throw it away. The only thing good after that might be the intake manifold or the engine heads, and that's just about it. But people, I've warned people about these things before, and they don't want to listen, and I don't get views on my channel. I should, because if I could get views, I could help millions and millions of people to quit falling for scams and to know how to fix their cars in the best, most affordable way and the right way. Quit using fix it in a bottle type methods. Quit doing that, people. Because the only thing you want to put in any gasoline engine is oil. There's no such thing as something from outer space. No, it all comes from under the ground. Crude oil, refined crude oil. It's used to make gasoline all the way up to post grease. And it's a matter of the thickness and the weight. And the way engine oil weight is measured at 245 degrees as to how thick it is. And here's something else I've tried to tell people in my videos. Viscosity oil only exists as it did 150 years ago. And the fact it's thicker when it's colder and it's thinner when it's hotter. Okay? There you go. It doesn't get thicker as it gets hotter, like marketing lies to you. Okay? You should watch my other video on here where I drew a chart of oils and what they really are pertaining to the weight or whatever of these oils, regardless of the brand. You should watch that. You should watch it. If you don't, you're only hurting yourself. But for those of you that have put that Lucus oil stabilizer or, whatever in your engine, Well, you're just ruining your crankshaft. You're ruining your crankshaft. And then you're going to need a complete new engine as to where the cam phaser rattle or the cam chain rattle, like in engines of today, or a rocker tap or a bad lifter, it'd be easier just to fix that. But I've noticed in advertising they compare Lucas oil treatment. There are let me make sure I've got the oil stabilizer, they call it. They're comparing that to Rislone engine oil treatment. No, people, it's nothing the same. It's nothing the same. Rislone engine oil treatment is actually very good because it's a thinner oil, but it does penetrate areas where that there's like been sludge or buildup. It's good for that. It's not a honey oil like this Lucas is, but you've just been tricked. They call it Lucas engine oil stabilizer. People, it's STP oil treatment of the early 70s all over again. That's all it is. People, quit being stupid. Educate yourself. Educate yourself. And remember, a guy at Jiffy Lube or accounts for like at AutoZone, that's not a mechanic, people. Talk to people that are older, age 50 on up, that have done it for years and years and years. That's who you need to talk to, with the exception of some. But anyway, hope you're all having a great day and either listen to me or don't. It's like stupid results in stupid. Being smarter is a person that will learn and they will achieve more and get better results. Bye bye for right now, everybody.